This is Roblox Dandy's World, a game that only wanted to bring light to the Roblox community that did just that for years and years on Roblox. But what if I told you that they completely fumbled that just because of a few errors that they did that completely ruined the reputation of their game? Would you believe me? Maybe, but definitely after this video you will. From a developer of Dandy's World being called out for really serious allegations, to Dandy's World themselves trying to cover up the whole situation. And after this 8-minute video, you'll completely understand why Dandy's World only has 8 minutes left. But before we talk about where Dandy's World is now, we should talk about where Dandy's World started, because it actually had a good upbringing on the Roblox community. It started as a small indie project that turned into a big project, with it now having over 7 billion visits and 4.5 million favorites, and the game was only made 2 years ago. So that just shows how fast this game even grew. And this game didn't just blow up overnight and the game ended up dying eventually. This game still has a pretty good active player base, with them around 40,000 players actively every single day. And with almost the entire world playing this game at one point, Dandy's World had a big responsibility to keep their community safe, especially the kids on their game, because this game entices kids to play it constantly, because the premise of this game is basically like Slenderman, where you have to go around collecting oil canisters to fill up oil canisters with these machines to avoid monsters while doing it, and after you do that you enter an elevator to go to the next level where there's more and more monsters. And this game increases difficulty over and over and over again until you inevitably fail, because this game is marketed as an infinite game where you can just play it over and over and over again and just try to beat your last record. And with the character's design looking like something that could be straight out of Cocomelon, it makes complete sense that this game is going to be filled with kids. But speaking of the character's design, you're gonna notice in the gameplay of this video that I am the girl version of the person that you're supposed to play as, and I didn't know that it was the girl version because I just picked a random one and I didn't know it was that important because I can't change it anymore. So you're just gonna see me playing as a girl this whole game. But from everything I've been saying, Dandy's World has a big responsibility to protect its younger users, specifically the kids on their game. But when you aim too high way too quickly on something that you work on, and instead of building it out of stone and rock, you build it on sand, things are going to get messy very quickly. Like this document that came out about Dandy's World a couple of days ago that exposes the owner of Dandy's World, Quell, and one of the old co-owners named Rox that also had a ton of terrible things come out about them a couple of years ago, are also included in this document. So let's just start there with this document. I'm just gonna talk about what Rox did first, and then I'm going to get into the document, because Rox should have never been a part of Dandy's World to even begin with because of some of the horrid stuff that they did prior to this document even being out. But to clarify, before I go into talking about Rox had a ton of usernames that they used throughout the years that I'm going to list out right here. Homestruck_Jake413, Jakers, Traveling Moon Rox, and Chill Faceless. And after I explain what Rox has done, you'll completely understand why Rox had so many different usernames, because they are absolutely terrible persons. So what Rox did was they were caught sending messages to a 13-year-old inappropriately on multiple different occasions, and they also got caught sending messages to a 15-year-old on multiple different occasions. And that 15-year-old that he was messaging privately, he was telling the 13-year-old about the 15-year-old in a very inappropriate way too. But trust me, that's not even as bad as it gets. Rox then decides to start drawing inappropriate images of an underage person that was 15 named Gary and distributing it to all of their friends, including people in the Dandy's World community, which is sick if you really think about it, because there's kids in that server that really looked up to Rox, so that's just very sick. And then Rox decides to make an hour-long response that is absolutely terrible, where they basically just guilt-trip the whole community, the whole Dandy's World community, with their cat on screen the whole time. And I'm not even joking, you can go watch that video yourself, because I'm not going to show it here, because I don't want to give them a reason to copyright strike this video. And then people went on to debunk Rox's response, and then Rox just faded into the dark where no one seen him ever again. Until the document came out that made me make this video, where absolutely everything changed and made everyone open their eyes to see who actually made Dandy's World. Now I'm gonna bring something else to your guys' attention that is about this whole thing, called Blush Crunch Studio, that is owned by Quelver, which is Quell, because it is going to be very important to this whole situation. Because after everything that Rox did, Quell decided to fire and ban Rox from the Blush Crunch Studio server on Discord and on the group on Roblox, and claimed to multiple people in the Roblox community that they had no idea what Rox was doing at the time, and there's even some DMs between Quell and Parlo at the time, where Quell also repeated that exact testament to Parlo. And all of that happened back in 2024, but recently there was a leaked Discord call where Quell basically admitted to knowing it 2 months prior and was talking about it in that call 2 months prior to actually banning and firing Rox from the community and the Discord. And the person who leaked this call was Duck Adams, and he goes over the Discord call in a 9-minute video where basically it exposes Quell for basically knowing it the whole time and a lot longer than they said 2 years ago. Now I'm going to show you a bit of the call, but I'm going to warn you it's kind of graphic, so if you don't want to see it, just skip to this timestamp on screen. Thank you.
Like I said, it's deplorable.
Rock Serpent admitting that this art is bad.
I'm not going to sit here.
So, okay, I'm trying to get the context of what's going on. Both of these were minors. Is that what you were saying?
Okay, in this drawing, it is an adult and a minor.
So as you see clear as day, Quell already knew about everything. 2 months before they actually fired or banned Rox from anything. If I owned Dandy's World, I would have fired and banned Rox from everything involving Dandy's World because that is terrible. You have the responsibility of 7 billion people that joined your game and you failed them miserably. All because of what? You like Rox or you're friends with Rox? That's not a good excuse when there's 7 billion people that have joined your game that you're responsible for, and most of them being kids. Like, there's literally no justifiable excuse why Quell did this, other than they tried to hide this whole thing, to save Dandy's World reputation. And if that was bad enough for Quell, it gets even worse because there's literally screenshots of Quell helping Rox make the response video about the whole thing where Rox showed his cat for basically the whole video. And then there's another screenshot that shows Quell literally helping Rox make a title for the video that he responded to everything, which is insane if you think about it for someone that didn't know about anything at all. And then there's an even more damning screenshot of Quell asking Rox if people should be able to talk about the response video in the official Dandy's World Discord server, and they give a terrible response to that absolutely makes my brain boil. And then there's screenshots from 2021, a few years even before 2024, when apparently Quell even found out about this situation, where they asked Spook, which I'm assuming is another account that Rox owns, asking Spook if they want to join a call, and with other messages that were also taken screenshots of. We can assume they were very bad things, with them talking about in the call. But get this, and then after all of that, another document was released where a team manager of Dandy's World exposed Quell even more, where they basically confirm everything that Duck Adams said in their video, which I really recommend checking out because it actually has a lot of information that I left out in this video. But also in that document, it goes on to say that Quell failed to even tell the public or their staff team about anything Rox did before they got fired, even though they knew years prior about what Rox has done. Now, I'm going to leave the document and the link in the description because this document has some terrible stuff that I don't even want to talk about in this video because it's gruesome. And if you have a weak stomach for things like that, please don't look at that document and the link in the description. But please subscribe. This video took too long, and watch this video right here. Thank you.